Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, I know a lot of people are liking it, a lot of people are betting on it, but I really haven't been into the Olympics this year.
No, it's one of those things where even when I'm not betting on it, I'm not watching it. It's just I don't have any interest in the Olympics, and it's a horrible thing to say, especially since a lot of the sports books do promote the Olympic betting.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's a big part of the industry now, but I just don't like. Maybe that's just me. I just don't like amateur athletics.
Oh, well, that's interesting. But
I don't watch too much NCAA stuff either.
For me, I mean, look, most of the live events are really late at night. I really can't stay up to watch them live. I would. There's a lot of great coverage going on with the Olympics, a lot of interesting storylines with regard to figure skating and things like that. But nope, just haven't been able to place a bet on the Olympics.
No, but I did find an interesting sport to watch, that mono sled, which is it's a single person bobsled run. That's a very...
Don't they call that the luge?
No. That's sitting on top of the sled.
Oh, okay.
This is a little one-person little machine that they go down, and it's a one-person bobsled.
One person? Oh, okay. What do they call it? Mono sled,
I think.
Okay.
Because it was just kind of interesting to watch. It was a little different than everything else out there. I'm not an X Games fan, and the snowboarding didn't interest me too much. And but I have to admit, some of these streaming networks, especially Fubo, they have these entire sections on the Olympics.
Great coverage. The coverage has been absolutely excellent, and some really interesting things. I just really haven't been able to get into it. I just don't know why.
It's like NBA regular season. You really can't get into it until something really big happens. But people enjoy it. That's great.
Well, we got a great show coming up for you. Got Beatin The House. We got the By the Number segment. I guess we're dusting that off for the off season of the NFL. We have a book report, but my interview, a very interesting interview with Ted Vogt. He's the executive director of the Arizona Department of Gaming. Arizona is an incredible sports betting and gaming market, and we're going to find out all about Arizona.
And it would have held the record for fastest to $1 billion if it wasn't for New York.
Yeah, New York screwed it up. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Right before we got into these exit, we just mentioned New York, or at least I did anyway. And maybe that was just a subconscious way to segue into this exit, because everyone's focused on the mobile sports betting in New York State, how it's setting records. It's destroying records, as a matter of fact.
It's just huge. Can we just leave it at that? It's huge. Would they make almost $2 billion in handle in 2 weeks? Who does that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's just amazing. But, in terms of...
But some interesting news I'm sure you're going to touch on. It really hasn't affected New Jersey's handle whatsoever. It might be a little... It takes some analysis by people smarter than us. So, but New Jersey
could be everybody.
New Jersey broke a handle record. So it's interesting to see how New York and New Jersey's relationship continues.
It's kind of interesting that New Jersey is still keeping pace a bit with New York.
Yeah, like I said, they broke a handle record.
Yep, but like I said, everyone's focused on this mobile sports betting in New York, but there are some other potential interesting options coming down the road, or possibly coming down the road in New York for their bettors. And it's kind of interesting. These aren't in effect yet. As a matter of fact, I came across these stories, and it was just kind of really interesting. The New York State Senate committee voted 7-0 to advance a bill that would legalize sports betting kiosks at pro sports venues.
Yeah, why not now? Now, you might as well. Because, look, there is sports betting in these stadiums already because, you know what? You have your phone.
Exactly.
They're betting anyway in this seat, so you know what? Put a kiosk there and let them do whatever they want to do.
Well, the question I have is, with all the geofencing and all the whatever you want to call it, will they be able to block other sports books? when they have kiosks put in with a deal with another sports
Well,
book.
see, that's interesting. So you know what? You might as well do it.
And again, you also have to look at the fact that these stadiums want sports books in their venues is because of fan engagement.
Sure,
If people are going into the sports book, they're in the stadium, they're going to buy other concessions, they're going to buy memorabilia. And I wonder if you do a deal with a sports book and you sell concessions in that sports book, in the arena, in the in-venue sports book, I should say, are those concessions taxed according to that 51%? Or do you get the normal concession rate?
I'm sure that's
because that's
something
added
different.
revenue
Yeah,
because of all
yeah.
that.
Well, I'm sure that's something different. Look, I mean, hey, if you're spending $10 for a beer, I mean, you might as well put $10 on the Yankees against the Red Sox or something like that in Yankee Stadium. Why not?
But you're right. If there is no in-venue sportsbook, you're using your phone. If you have mobile betting in that state,
sure, absolutely.
I mean, you got the Nationals already have the BetMGM sportsbook. The United Center did the deal with
in Chicago
for FanDuel for the Bulls and the Blackhawks. You got here. Listen to this list: Chase Field in Arizona for the Diamondbacks has a Caesars book. Capital One Arena in D.C. for the Wizards and Capitals. They were basically the first one in the country. That's a Caesars sportsbook. The Footprint Center. The Suns and the Mercury play there. It's Arizona again, Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Have a FanDuel book.
I didn't even know that was called that.
The Footprint Center?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And this one, the Audi Field, where the DC United play in, I guess it's Virginia. I don't know if it's in DC or not. They have a future FanDuel book coming.
Oh, okay.
But so
again, New York, why not?
It's another betting option that's going to be coming down the road.
Know
Something to look out for.
You know how much fun it'd be to go to Madison Square Garden and place a bet during a game?
You still can.
Well, I know with your phone, but I mean, why not have a kiosk there
or a lounge?
Yeah, why not?
The other news story I came across. This is kind of way down the road here with PointsBet. Now, PointsBet has the deal with NBC Sports, and they were testing out low latency live in-game betting, where you don't have the suspended odds. Mm-hmm. It's always updated and you can do it automatically. They brought up the idea of doing this with SNY as well.
In New York.
For Mets games.
Yes. Sports New York. That's what it's called.
Sportsnet's New York. And they don't have any deals yet in place with any of this, but SNY is an affiliate of NBC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the NBC Sports deal is still in effect. It'll be interesting to see if they can actually get a deal done with the Mets as well as Major League Baseball to do the pregame, the postgame betting odds, as well as doing the live in-game betting odds during a Met game.
See, that'd be fun.
That's another way to do some betting. I mean, if you don't like sitting there with your phone hitting numbers and all that stuff, if you're watching TV and you can incorporate that into your broadcast, something like what Fubo Sportsbook does with that wager view or whatever they call it. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how many different options New York is going to be having, because I don't see New Jersey doing any of this either.
Well,
I know New Jersey has the in-venue sportsbook lounges.
Sure.
But no in-venue sports books. Mm-hmm. So I know Fubo has the one with the Jets.
Well, New Jersey has, we get New Jersey and New York. In New Jersey, we have those networks. We don't have a New Jersey sports network.
No.
So even the Devils play on a New York sports media outlet. So it's one of those things, New Jersey doesn't have a sports media outlet. New York and Philadelphia does. So, and they broadcast right into New Jersey. So you might as well just do them. And everyone has sports betting now, and everyone has mobile sports betting now. And so might as well just do them.
Well, like I said, two other options down the road that may happen.
Exit 2.
We've got an NHL22 tournament coming up. And this one is put on by the Florida Panthers themselves, an NHL team.
Okay.
And the Florida Panthers and X-Rocker Gaming have partnered to do 4 NHL22 tournaments on the Rivals platform. That's a esports platform that both Florida Panthers and X-Rocker Gaming have pages on, and they run tournaments that way.
Now, what are the games? I mean, it's
just NHL 22.
Okay, so it's NHL 22.
It's the
I was just curious to see if they were. I assume they were doing hockey. I was just curious to see if they were doing any other games.
No, this is just an NHL 22.
Right.
NHL 22
is
the hockey version of Madden.
Okay, yeah.
And they're doing something different because they're having a couple tournaments called the old gen tournaments versus the new gen tournaments. There's a whole series for each of those. The old generation tournaments are done on Xbox One and PS4s. The new generations are done on the new Xbox Series XS and the PS5.
Okay.
So if you have one of the older models, you're not cut out of this.
Okay.
That's the reason why they're doing this.
So I'm assuming Atari Hockey is not involved.
You mean Activision?
Yeah. Oh, was it Activision?
It was Activision Hockey.
I remember Atari used to have their own cassettes, and then they had the Activision ones. The big Activision one was, I guess, was that Pitfall?
That was Pitfall.
All right.
That might have been one of their first ones.
Really? Okay.
But anyway, going back to this, first place in the new gen tournaments will win an X-Rocker gaming chair signed by multiple Panthers players. Second place finishers get a $50 credit to the Panthers team shop for the old gen series. First place will have a Panthers red home replica jersey signed by 2022 NHL All-Star Jonathan Huberdeau. And second place will get an X-Rocker gaming headset.
I got to tell you, you said they're giving away a chair. I love those gaming chairs, man. They look comfortable. I'm sitting on it right now. I'm sitting on an old office chair, and it sucks.
I don't know if you'd want to sit on it if it's signed, though.
Yeah, I guess you'd screw up the value, wouldn't you?
Or
well, I would think they would sign the back of it.
Or maybe they have a plaque attached to it.
Maybe, yeah.
Something like that. But all registrants will also get an autographed Panthers mystery puck. Don't know what's in the mystery puck. It has not been announced. I guess that's why they're calling it a mystery puck.
All right, okay.
So it's a brand new series, Florida Panthers. You kind of love when the pro teams get involved in this
Absolutely, yeah. That's great. Fan engagement.
Exit 3.
Well, you said it in an interview. You can't talk about sports nowadays or even any kind of sports betting thing without bringing up NFTs.
Yes, non-fungible tokens.
Well, we've got 2 new launches coming.
2 more NFTs. I've still yet to...
This one I actually find very interesting.
Like I said, I just to say I got an NFT.
I find this very interesting. Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company.
Okay, yeah, we just talked to them a couple weeks ago.
They have...
Who did I interview?
Michael Crawford, the CEO.
Yeah.
They have announced a deal with the Pro Football Hall of Fame itself, and I Got It, which is a NFT developer. They're going to be digitizing some of the memorabilia in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow. Can you actually own that? If it's an NFT, can you actually
Well, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to create NFTs based upon the memorabilia and sell those NFTs.
See, that's pretty cool.
They are going to be also creating a website to host the NFTs. And what happens here is you're going to be doing a giveaway contest to start with. And part of the deal is a special 1-of-1 Pro Football Hall of Fame NFT and 2 VIP Hall of Fame enshrinement packages for enshrinement weekend. That's part of the giveaway.
That's fun. That whole weekend is fun. And now what they're doing around that area for the Pro Football Hall of Fame is just incredible. I mean, we went there, I forgot what year it was. It's when Dan Marino was enshrined. So that was a while ago. That was a while ago. So, yeah, no, it was really built up after that.
Well, everyone who enters the giveaway contest will also get a free commemorative Hall of Fame NFT and the opportunity to pre-purchase the official NFTs coming down the road.
So what was that again? Tell me that again, because this might be my chance to get an NFT.
You have to enter a contest.
All right.
By the Hall of Fame Resort and the Hall of Fame Village, basically.
Okay, all right.
And they're going to be giving away a 1-of-1 special Pro Football Hall of Fame NFT.
Okay.
And 2 VIP Hall of Fame enshrinement packages.
Well, I'm going to sign up.
And everyone who does sign up gets a commemorative Pro Football Hall of Fame NFT.
All right, definitely. Now I'm definitely doing it. That made me my first NFT ownership ever.
Also, up to
so where do you go for that? You
hang on, let me finish the prizes.
Well, see, now I'm excited. I might get an NFT.
Up to 250 owners of this commemorative Pro Football Hall of Fame NFT.
That's the one you can win.
No, that's the one that you get if you just sign up for
it. Okay. All right.
You get into the Hall of Fame Museum free of charge.
Oh, perfect. I get to get an NFT, and I get to go
free NFT.
A free NFT, and I get to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's. I may actually do it too. I've never been interested.
So where do you go? What website?
If you go to the Hall of Fame Resort Entertainment Company's website, they've got an announcement there, and you can actually click on the link. And go right to it.
All right. Yeah. No, I'll definitely do that.
And Major League Baseball's Washington Nationals have entered into a partnership with Terra. And here's a new phrase you're going to probably hear a lot of. Terra is a decentralized autonomous organization.
Wow.
Basically, they're not regulated by anybody. That's kind of what they are.
Okay.
They will be working with the Nationals to establish a foundation for future blockchain and cryptocurrency applications for fans. So they're kind of a think tank.
Okay.
Kind of a thing.
Wait, so what do they call it? A decentralized autonomous organization?
A DAO.
Okay.
DAO.
A DAO. Okay.
And they're also going to have some, you're going to see some signage at they have this premier club space behind home plate at National Park. You're going to see Terra branding everywhere in that club.
Okay. Probably all over TV.
Exit 4.
And last but not least for this week, I think everybody on the planet knows we just had the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And one of the aspects of the Super Bowl everybody likes, or majority of people seem to like, are the commercials. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just tune in for the commercials or the halftime show, or last but not least, the game
the
itself.
commercials, the two that stick out for me was the Larry David one. I really like that. And I guess it's Coinbase. It was almost looking like a screensaver with
a QR code.
QR code, like almost like a screensaver. It's bouncing around. I mean, it's like I'm looking at it and I didn't know what I was looking at, but it's the thing that kind of stuck in my mind even right now. So, I think they did very well too. I think.
Funny you should mention Coinbase.
Yeah,
because we're going to be talking about them in a minute here. EDO, which is a data measurement and analytics software company, they rank all the Super Bowl ads every year.
All right.
And it's to look at which one drove the strongest consumer engagement. Basically, which commercial led to somebody right after seeing it going to the website to check it out.
Okay. All right.
Top 10.
Top 10.
I don't remember this one at all, and that's maybe a problem for me, but Polestar No Compromises commercial. I do not remember No Compromises.
You probably know it if you saw it.
Probably.
So.
But all the other ones I remember. Q Health, Meet Q, the home testing, the smart testing service.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. That was interesting.
That was number 2. Basically, when people saw that, they went to the website.
I was very curious about it. Yeah, I can see that.
The new Lord of the Rings series, Rings of Power, was number 3.
I remember that.
RoboDog, the Kia commercial. Remember the little puppy dog,
okay.
The electronic puppy dog?
Yeah, he dove off the building.
That was number
car.
4.
Yeah, okay.
Nissan with the Thrill Ride. I don't remember that one.
I believe
that's not the Schwarzenegger one.
No. I think that was with Levy and Dave Bautista. I think.
Oh, that was that.
I think that was the one. All right.
Oh yeah,
Eugene Levy and
where he was jumping off the.
I think that was the one.
Okay, the one from The Walking Dead was in it and all that. Yeah. Okay, I remember that one. Next one was Coinbase.
Okay, that's the QR code.
Yep.
That looks like a screensaver.
That commercial was called QR in Technicolor.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was a pretty good one. It just kept my interest. I'm looking at the screen, seeing it bounce around.
And then you had the Toyota, the Joneses, Disney Plus, Moon Knight, Netflix's Adam Project. That looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, it looks like an interesting movie. Yeah.
And Chevy with the all-electric Chevy Silverado. They rounded out the top 10.
Okay.
30 new advertisers.
So no Larry David. I like the Larry David one.
Well, we're going to get to Larry David.
Oh, okay. All right.
30 new advertisers for this year's Super Bowl, but that was only 40% of the ads. So there was like 75 ads played in this year's Super Bowl. First time ever, viewers saw an ad for an electric vehicle accessory. Kia had the most successful electric vehicle ad with 10 times better performance than the next one after that.
Okay.
Coinbase had the most engaging crypto ad.
Okay.
And the second most cryptocurrency popular, how it ranked ad was the spot that had viewers going on a time travel trip with Larry David.
Okay, yeah, no, I see. I like that one, yeah.
And top 3 celebrity appearances, Dolly Parton, Morgan Freeman, and Jim Carrey. The Jim Carrey one snuck up on me. I didn't know he was doing that.
Yeah.
So that's the NFL ads who were the most, I guess, their version of fan engagement.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a great show coming up for you. We got a Beatin The House segment. We got a By the Numbers segment. We're dusting that off after the NFL is all done.
A short one.
A short one. Okay, we got a book report. But right after this, I'm talking with Ted Vogt, Executive Director of the Arizona Department of Gaming. He's going to tell us all about the incredible gaming and sports betting market of Arizona. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Gaming and sports betting are expanding across the United States. It seems like every week a new state is jumping into the sports betting industry. And one of the most exciting new states is Arizona. It's absolutely incredible what the state is doing when it comes to gaming and sports betting. And we're going to find out all about the Arizona market because on the line we have Ted Vogt, Executive Director of the Arizona Department of Gaming. Ted, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, Dave, thanks a lot for having me on your show. I don't know what the weather's like out there right now, but we've got the Phoenix Open underway, and it's a beautiful 75 degrees. So folks might need to head out this way.
I think I might book a ticket out there because it's rather chilly in Jersey here. So, but I got to tell you, I've been hearing constantly about Arizona here. But before we start getting into the sports betting and the absolute incredible things Arizona is doing, give us the lay of the land of the gambling scene in Arizona for some of us who don't know about what you have to offer in Arizona. How many casinos, how many racetracks does the state have?
So primarily the gaming landscape here in Arizona, there are 24 Class 3 tribal casinos throughout the state. Governor Ducey just negotiated this past spring a new gaming compact. That number can increase over the next 20 years. So there's a lot of offerings around the entire state when it comes to tribal gaming. And that's primarily where the expansion has happened as well, too. Prior to the renegotiation, we mainly had slots. Now all Vegas-style table games are allowed on tribal casinos. With respect to racetracks, we have 3 horse racing tracks around the state, Turf Paradise in Phoenix, Arizona Downs up in Prescott Valley, and then Rito down in Tucson. The bulk of the races take place in Turf Paradise, whose meet is underway right now, and lasts from basically October through the first weekend of May. And then, of course, part of the renegotiation of the gaming compact was the the ability to offer event wagering and fantasy sports off reservation. And that included a total of 20 operators. We've got 10 commercial licenses available, as well as 10 tribal. We're still in the process of bringing operators online. So even though we've had remarkable numbers in our first 3 months of operation, it's only going to get stronger from here on out.
I want to ask you about your sports betting industry. I mean, it's only a couple of months old, and it's incredibly successful. I think it's one of the big gaming news stories of the last couple of months. Right now, we see a lot of states trying to enact sports betting legislation. And tell us about the process that Arizona had to go through to enact sports betting legislation. And were there any concerns before sports betting went live in the state?
Sure. So back in 2002, there was a constitutional amendment to allow tribal gaming, and that was exclusive in the state. So if you wanted to have gambling in the state, really it was had to be negotiated within the context of a tribal compact. So though there had been a number of efforts over the past couple of years to try to allow that, we couldn't have event wagering until we negotiated it with the tribes. Governor Ducey started the negotiations almost immediately when he was first elected. It took about 5 years to reach an agreement. And like I said, the agreement allowed for the expansion of gaming on reservation to include more casinos, as well as more games and all the Vegas-style table games. And it allowed for 10 tribal licenses and 10 commercial licenses to offer mobile as well as retail event wagering off reservation.
I was very curious about when enacting your regulations and your rules for the gaming and sports betting in your state. I'm very interested to hear how closely you looked at other states and how they were handling their sports betting within their borders. I know you border Nevada, and I'm just curious, how closely did you look at their regulations when coming up with your own regulations for sports betting?
So that's been one of the benefits of kind of going in the middle of the pack, is we got to look and talk to a lot of our other jurisdictions about, what worked for them, what didn't. We talked to both the regulators as well as the operators to try to come up with the rules that would work best in the state. And like I said, one of the unique things here in the state of Arizona is that prior to the renegotiation of the compact, the tribes had exclusivity over gaming. So every state is unique. You can pick and choose the things that are going to work in other states that you think are going to work here, but you can't just adopt another state's regulations wholesale because that quickly becomes unworkable.
Now, I know when New Jersey was going through the court case in order to overturn PASPA, one of the reasons why New Jersey wanted sports betting, well, one of the reasons they said they wanted sports betting was not only to make money for the state, but also to stop losing money to places like Nevada. When the Super Bowl or March Madness came around, New Jersey wanted to keep the money in state as opposed to people heading to Vegas to place a bet. As I said, you border Nevada. Was one of the main reasons that sports betting was enacted was to stop losing money to Las Vegas when the big betting events occurred?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to not only offer something similar to what folks would find in Nevada, but in addition, we know that illegal wagering has been going on, so we wanted to offer a legal marketplace. The vast majority of consumers want to comply with the law. They want to do it legally. So I think that there were multiple reasons why we did this, but certainly, being right next door to Vegas, it being a very short drive from Phoenix to get there, we had to offer a product that was substantially similar to what folks might see in Las Vegas and Nevada.
I'm curious to hear about the locations of your sports books, your retail sports books, and your casinos. I mean, like I said, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and all our casinos are located in the southeastern corner of our state. But how about Arizona? Where are your casinos? Where are your sports books located? Are they throughout the state?
Absolutely. So certainly there are quite a few casinos in the Phoenix metropolitan area and the Tucson metropolitan area. But we've got tribes all the way throughout the state that have one or two casinos. So people can find a gambling location very near wherever they want to go in the state. One thing that I would say with respect to the retail books is, we're still rolling this out. And right now, there's only 2 retail books that are operated by the sports teams, and those are in the Phoenix area. Mm-hmm. Over the next couple of months, we're expecting more to come online. So there will be offerings throughout the state with respect to retail. But right now, it's very limited.
As you mentioned, every state is different when it comes to the rules and regulations for sports betting. Are there any unique rules that people have to be aware of when they're betting in Arizona? For example, I know a couple of states, they can't bet on any colleges or universities that are located in that state. And even in New Jersey, took it a bit further, we can't bet on any collegiate activity that occurs within our borders. Are there any rules like that for Arizona? Any special rules that people should know about when they come out to Arizona to visit and place bets?
We've got a few, but they're mainly ones that you would expect. Like, we don't allow bets on injuries. We don't allow bets on penalties, anything that would be sort of corrosive to the game and could harm players. But, when we were doing our due diligence and talking to other jurisdictions, we found that a lot of folks that sort of put that ban on not allowing bets on collegiate games within the state, a lot of consumers didn't like that. So you can go ahead and bet on the ASU U of A games here in Arizona.
Great.
And another thing we did about our rules is, we kind of approached it with a little bit of humility. There is so much innovation going on in this industry, not only with respect to what operators are doing, but with sort of the ancillary services with respect to cash and other ancillary technologies. That we created rules that we thought were strong enough to give us a good regulatory environment, but were not overly prescriptive that we would somehow stifle innovation. So we're really looking forward to see what happens in this industry. And I think we've got a strong set of rules to operate here in Arizona that will really allow the industry to blossom here.
Now, I got to ask you about these incredible numbers that Arizona has reported in their first months of sports betting. I mean, the figures for the handle and the revenue were enormous. Is that was expected in the first months, or was that a surprise for everyone? Because these numbers that were reported are just incredible.
They certainly surprised me. Like, I thought that it would take us a couple of years to get to this point, but certainly there was just a stronger appetite out there among consumers. And I think with all the buildup in terms of what had been going on in other states, and even there had been previous attempts at the legislature to allow event wagering, it was front and center in everybody's minds. And so when the governor renegotiated the gaming compact, and this was part of it, we were off to the races with that. We were given a great gift by the governor and the legislature, which was an exemption from the normal rulemaking process, which allowed us to really work with industry as well as stakeholders to come up with the rules quickly. And our goal was always to hit the opening weekend of the NFL season, which we were able to do. So we stood up the industry in about 150 days.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out for everyone so everyone understands these numbers. In September and October alone, which were your first 2 months of sports betting, you had $777 million in handle, which is an absolute incredible figure for 2 months. Then when you put your November numbers in, you passed the $1 billion mark, which outside of New York made Arizona the fastest to hit the $1 billion mark in handle. I mean, what do you attribute that to? I mean, is there a big marketing push that the sportsbooks are doing in your state? Are the bonuses and promotions that are being offered really, really great? Or why are these numbers so good?
I think it's a combination of that. We certainly are seeing a lot of bonuses and free plays and promotions from the operators here in the state. But there's also just a lot of interest in it. And let's face it, with the pandemic, there's just a lot of pent-up energy to get out there and do something different, but is also safe. So I just think it was sort of a perfect storm, not to mention we had a great sports year for the Cardinals,
Sure.
as well as just the advent of the college football season. So there was already a lot of interest being driven to the sports here in Arizona, and we're excited. Like I said, we've got the Phoenix Open underway right now. The PGA has a sports book up on the golf course. So we're a destination. So we're going to get a lot of interest coming out here. We're going to have the Super Bowl next year. So we really just see this market continuing to mature and grow.
I'm glad you brought that up, because doing this job, I get to speak to a lot of people who work for professional sports teams. And over the summer, everyone I talked to said they cannot wait for Arizona to launch. I mean, you mentioned the PGA. I spoke with the PGA. I spoke with NASCAR, and they were so excited about Arizona. Why is Arizona such a good market for sports betting, and why do you think the sports teams were so excited for your launch?
I think, we understood that, hey, look, they are producing a product out there that drives a lot of interest. I think they saw that, hey, this is a great way to sort of monetize what's going on in their industry. And with the uniqueness of the legislation, whereas the commercial operator licenses could go to the professional sports team or NASCAR or PGA, it was just a very unique market here that really caused a lot of excitement, both by the sports teams as well as operators. And then you add to that, you've got the 10 tribal licenses as well, which allowed them to get off reservation with gaming. So it's just been a really well thought out legislation, as well as the gaming compact. And then you put in the interest that's already here in the state. It's really posted some remarkable numbers these first 3 months, and we expect that to continue to grow.
Now, Arizona is going to make sports betting history again, because a couple of weeks back, BetMGM and the Arizona Cardinals released sketches of a 17,000 square foot sportsbook in the stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play, which will make it the first sportsbook ever to be located in an NFL stadium. Why is something like that so important to the Arizona sports betting industry? What does it mean for sports betting in Arizona?
Well, I think what you look at is it's the experience. So if you're a Cardinals fan and you want to go out there, you want to see the game, here is another component of that experience that is now available to them. I've seen the sketches. It's a beautiful sports book, and I think it's really going to enhance customers' experience out there at the stadium. Now, all sports teams have the ability to put in a retail location within a certain distance of their stadiums. So I think we're going to see that grow. Mm-hmm. We also just finished allocation of what are known as limited event wagering operator licenses. So our racetracks will get retail locations in their facilities, as well as some of their off-track betting locations. So the retail market is really starting to grow out here as well.
You know, we brought up the sports books in the stadiums, and I'm curious to how much coordination and how much input the NFL had with regard to the sports book in the stadium. Because I remember a few years back during the court case, NFL was dead set against the whole idea about sports betting, and now, there's going to be a sports book in an NFL stadium. I mean, did you have to work closely with the NFL? Did the NFL have any concerns? I mean, what was that process like, if anything, with the NFL?
Well, I would say that was also shared by the NC2A.
Everyone.
On event wagering. I mean, it's been remarkable how these organizations, how their position has moved over the last 3 years. I've been at the department for 3 years now. From when I got there, it was really seen as sort of a prohibition, to now, like you said, we're seeing sports books in NFL stadiums. And I think that has more to do with what's been happening in other markets, that they see that, there's not this parade of horribles that initially they were concerned with. We certainly took their input on responsible gaming and integrity. And I think because it's worked out so well in other jurisdictions, that we were not in any sort of fight whatsoever. It was really sort of a collaboration from the get-go of, hey, what do you need? What can we do to ensure the players are protected, the athletes are protected, and that the game keeps its integrity intact. So we've had a great relationship with all the governing bodies, all the professional teams, and really the operators as well.
You mentioned you were expecting more deals with professional teams and sports betting operations. I know recently the Arizona Coyotes did a deal with Sierra Bets. We're expecting more and more deals like this with different leagues and different teams. Are deals like this essential for the growth of sports betting in Arizona?
With respect to the commercial licenses, yes, because the way the statute is written is that it's a professional team or franchise that gets a commercial license. So what you've seen is the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, the PGA, and NASCAR, which specifically were called out in the legislation. So there are 2 remaining commercial licenses. Right now they're sort of tied up in litigation. So we'll wait to see how that litigation is resolved before we go to any sort of application process or allocation for those last 2 commercial licenses. So on the commercial side, yes, it is tied to those professional sports. On the tribal side, all 10 tribal licenses have been allocated, and by the end of the month, we expect all 10 of those to be online.
Well, let me ask you about that, because like I told you, every time I look at news stories, Arizona's involved. I mean, you guys are always at the top of the news stories because so much stuff is happening in Arizona. The Navajo Nation just did a deal with Hard Rock Digital. When do you expect Navajo Nation to go live with the Hard Rock Digital in the state?
So they'll be online, I believe, by the 23rd of this month.
Wow.
Part of the allocation process, and if you look in our rules, operators had 180 days from the date of their allocation to get their sportsbook operations up and running. So we allocated all licenses on August 27th, so they need to be up and running by the 27th of this month. So it's an aggressive timetable, but from everything we're seeing, everyone's going to make that deadline.
Now, one of the important issues when it comes to sports betting and gaming is responsible gambling. What is Arizona doing to promote responsible gambling in the state, and are there any programs the state is implementing when it comes to promoting responsible gambling?
So that was probably our biggest concern when we were looking at drafting the rules. I mean, this really is a paradigm shift for gaming in the state of Arizona. Prior to event wagering, you had to go to a casino to engage in any sort of gambling. Now you have the convenience of gambling from your phone. So we really took that seriously. We worked with operators to figure out, hey, how are you going to identify who the patron is? How are you going to verify their age? How are we going to make sure that you are that only those who are legally allowed to gamble are gambling? So we feel confident with what we've done with operators, that they are doing their due diligence. We are also putting into place a lot of resources available through our our Division of Problem Gambling. And the other thing I think we're going to be rolling out here soon is sort of a prevalence study, so we can get sort of a baseline in the state of gambling or problem gambling in the state, so we can see what's happening over time. And then we can put in countermeasures to kind of deal with that. But it was certainly a major concern of ours with that mobile component and that convenience of gambling from your phone.
Now, Arizona was one of the quickest states to ever reach $1 billion in handle for sports betting. What can we expect from Arizona in the coming year when it comes to sports betting? I mean, how much more growth can we expect from the state in that market?
So if you look back at our November numbers, we only had about 9 operators up and running. Mm-hmm. By the end of this month, we're going to have 18.
Wow.
We're going to start seeing the retail locations come online, not only off reservation, but on reservation. Tribes are starting to put those into their casinos. And then, like I mentioned, there are those limited event wagering operator licenses, which will amount to 10 more retail locations above and beyond what the teams or the tribes are doing. So I think you're just going to see a continuing building of the industry out here, even though, we're expecting sort of a lull when it comes to the sporting activities that go on after, the Super Bowl's over and before the baseball season really heats up. But, I think we're going to see continued growth, continued strength that even sort of bucks the seasonality trend.
Ted, we're running out of time, but can you give out a website so people can keep up to date with what's going on in the gambling industry in Arizona?
Absolutely. If you go to azgaming.gov, you will have access to all of our reports. You can take a look at our rules and our statutes, and you can even take a look at our public comment periods that we did in the drafting of these rules. So we've got a lot of information in there, not only about event wagering and fantasy sports, but also tribal gaming throughout the state. You'll find maps of where the casinos are, as well as where the maps of the racetracks and OTBs are. So we've got a lot of information out there for the public, and we're always happy to share that.
Ted Vogt, Executive Director of the Arizona Department of Gaming, thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about gaming in Arizona. It's an incredible market with amazing things going on. So please come back on and keep us updated about what's going on in Arizona. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Dave. We'll see you.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of Beatin The House, where we're going to go through the slot jackpots, bingo, online casino, lottery, basically anything that gets a person a big win. We're going to talk about it. And
I read online poker, too.
Online poker.
Yeah.
Usually we do a bad beat, but this one's just a sheer size
just
of a win.
Outright win. Huge win.
But again, we keep those press releases coming in. We enjoy getting all the different news from around the country. If we haven't hit it yet, we probably will. So just keep everything coming in, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. We're going to start off in San Diego, California.
All right.
Pala Casino. I don't think we've done anything from Pala before.
I don't think we've done anything from San Diego before.
Well, California has a lot of casinos there.
Yes, they do.
But this one is the Pala Casino in San Diego. They have a brand new jackpot winner of $520,000 during an Ultimate Texas Hold'em table game.
Okay.
The winning guest, Dan N., is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's always a cool name to hear, Broken Arrow. Yeah. So he was playing Texas Hold'em. I'm sorry, I'm reading this, and Dan is a woman.
Oh, okay.
Dan was playing Ultimate Texas Hold'em when she was dealt a royal flush.
It must be Danielle or something.
Could be
like
anything.
That. I don't know.
Could be anything. I shouldn't take the gender for granted anymore.
Well, it was Dan, so it was an honest mistake.
She was dealt a royal flush, qualifying her for the progressive jackpot. The hand also qualified for the random mega feature, which randomly selected a royal flush as the winning hand.
Wow, okay.
Those two wins combined to earn the $520,000 payout. That's kind of an interesting twist to these progressive jackpots where she didn't even make a bet. It was the system that did it for her.
Good. Great. Good for her.
Moving over to Michigan, we have the Twin Spires Online Casino. We are doing a lot of Twin Spires Online Casinos.
I was going to say, boy, another Twin Spires.
Usually,
a couple of them we did. I think it was Pennsylvania. Did we have one in New Jersey as well? Or?
We had a couple in Pennsylvania. We actually had one in Michigan a while back.
I keep saying this every week, every time I hear Twin Spires, but I definitely have to check out Twin Spires because what kind of jackpot was this?
Michigan player Laura H.
Okay.
I know that's a female.
All right.
Got the surprise of a lifetime when she won $100,000 on the Green Machine Deluxe.
Which is, I'm assuming, a slot machine? Is that a...
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's the largest jackpot to date on the Green Machine Deluxe for Twin Spires.
Okay.
And it's also the third $100,000 win in 2 months at Twin Spires Online Casino. And I'm talking nationwide.
Well, that's what I mean. Twin Spires is giving out a lot of money, which is great. I really have to check this out.
I had to take a look at this Green Machine Deluxe, and according to Twin Spires, Green Machine Deluxe is a simple yet spellbinding 5-reel 3-row slot game from High Five Games.
I always love that marketing material. It's spellbinding.
Well, the Green Machine Deluxe uses a bare-bones theme with old-fashioned graphics set against a plain dark green backdrop. Basically, it's the color of money.
Okay, all right.
No pay lines whatsoever, and the only symbols you find representing cash prizes or bonus triggers, and you win no matter what reel they land on or what line they land on.
Okay.
So, I guess that's a good thing to get rid of the money lines.
All right, yeah. Okay. Well, certainly, like you said, it's an online slot machine.
Pay lines, I should say. Money lines are betting terminology.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, like you said, it's an online slot machine, so I'm going to check it out.
We're going to make our way east and go to the Virginia Lottery.
All right.
Sharon W. of Virginia Beach won $129,912 playing the Monopoly Progressive Jackpots online instant game. Another variation of the Monopoly game.
Yeah, Monopoly's everywhere.
I think there's at least 50 of those.
I don't know.
I mean, Wheel of Fortune has almost 100. Maybe
you go
100.
onto any gaming floor or any online casino, and Monopoly is everywhere.
Well, Monopoly Megaways is everywhere on the online casinos.
Yeah.
This is the Monopoly Progressive Jackpot, and this is one of the online instant games at the Virginia Lottery Online.
Okay.
That's a cool site. If you ever get a chance, take a look at it. It's kind of a fun lottery site. I can't say it's a casino site, but it's a lottery site. Moving up the shoreline, we're going to New Jersey now.
All right.
GoldenNuggetCasino.com, the online version of Golden Nugget.
Is that still the number one online casino in New Jersey? They've been given a.
I have to take a look at that. I haven't seen them mentioned
for a long time. They have been number one in New Jersey. So I still think they are. It's
they
a great
probably
thing.
are. They are probably the most adept online casino company.
I apparently have an account there because I keep getting newsletters from them. So I have to check to see if I still have an account there. New Jersey has so many online casinos and online poker and online sports books. You have trouble keeping track of where you have money and which area and where you have accounts at and things like that.
Well, according to the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement, there was a $100,000 jackpot on February 12th playing Scientific Games RR Pots of Gold.
RR Pots of Gold.
It's an Irish-themed kind of thing.
Okay, all right. Is that the one with the leprechaun?
It's one of the ones with the leprechaun.
Yeah, there's a lot of leprechauns out there.
So that happened on February 12th. On February 11th, according to the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement, BetfairCasino.com in New Jersey had a $149,125 jackpot from Net and Gaming's Mercy of the Gods Touch.
Okay.
That's
another one, New Jersey.
That's an ancient Egyptian. Yeah, we're in New Jersey for the next couple here.
Betfair Casino, huh?
Yep.
All right.
That's the sister site of FanDuel Sportsbook.
I was going to ask that. I know they were connected to a sportsbook somewhere.
And staying in New Jersey just for one last entry, according to the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement, from January 1st of this year to date, 168 jackpots of over $50,000 each have been handed out. A total of $15,884,000 have been paid out by online casinos and brick-and-mortar casinos in New Jersey.
I was going to ask that. Is that online and brick-and-mortar? It's both. So, all right.
Okay, now here's the poker jackpot that you had teased at the beginning of the segment.
Yeah, it's a crypto thing, isn't it?
Crypto-based poker platform Coin Poker. A player who goes by the nickname Tony G. And this is the release. Just destroyed the world record for the largest poker hand ever won online.
That's what they put in?
That's what they put in.
Just destroyed, huh?
He was playing a three-handed 5,000, 10,000 pot limit Omaha game on Coin Poker. And when the final card was dealt, he won a record-setting $7.75 million pot.
Wow.
I'm assuming that's $7.7 million in the cryptocurrency they were using. I don't know if this is actual money.
Yeah, I don't know how they...
Maybe it was a lot more if it was crypto. Or a lot less if it was crypto, depending on what the value of the crypto coin was.
Yeah.
But Tony G flopped a 10 Jack Queen King Ace straight and a pair, because it was pot limit Omaha.
Okay.
While his opponent was chasing the nut flush and a full house after flopping 4 to a flush and 2 pair.
All right.
Poker fans, if you understood that statement, God bless you.
I did that. I mean, it sounded like a very interesting hand. It was...
Well,
the problem is, I don't know how you really couldn't. It was online, so you really couldn't follow it like on TV or anything like that.
And
so.
I don't know how fast they dealt the cards on these things either, because some of the sites dealt them.
Well, I play a lot of online poker, and I would assume it's done similar to the real money. Well, this is real money, but the real money New Jersey online places.
Well, I was reading up on this, and he was involved in the previous record pot.
Who, the guy that
Tony
won the
G,
record?
but on the
Tony
losing
G?
side.
Oh, okay.
So he's been involved in some of the big time poker pots on, I guess, crypto based poker sites.
Okay, all right.
So, and last but not least for this week, we've got a double win at the Virginia Lottery. We're going back to the Virginia Lottery. A pick 3 double win.
A double win.
Yes.
Okay.
Jalen Taylor.
A double win by one guy?
By one guy.
By one guy, okay.
Jalen Taylor won $52,000 in a single pick 3 drawing. Now, I'm making note by saying single drawing because he had 104 tickets for this drawing. This was on November 18th.
Of the same number.
He had 104 tickets for this one drawing on the November 18th drawing, and each of his tickets won. All 104 tickets.
So these were all the same number, huh?
Each had the winning 3-digit combination of 960.
Wow.
In that drawing. So each of those tickets won $500. That was the top prize of the game.
That's interesting thinking. If I were to buy 100 tickets, which I have never done in my lifetime, I would have had 100 different combinations just to increase my chances of winning, you know? But
unless he boxed it or something.
It's interesting. I don't know.
So that was the first one. He won He won $52,000 on the November 18th drawing.
Okay.
He liked it so much he did it again 2 months later.
All right.
He won $80,000 on the January 10th drawing. He had 160 tickets with the winning combination of 5, 4, 2.
That must be like a strategy.
I don't know.
Maybe I should try something like that.
Anyone with a lottery book out there, send it over. I want to take a look at this.
Are there lottery books? How to win the lottery?
There's got to be. There's books on Keno.
Well, there's books on how to win at slot machines. I don't get that. I don't get the whole strategy there. But no, it must be some kind of strategy he's using.
So again,
it's working.
His 160 tickets each won the $500 top prize. So he won a total of $132,000 in less than 2 months, basically playing 6 numbers.
So I've been playing lottery all wrong.
Obviously.
Okay.
So, again, I guess any which way your strategy works, go for it, because I've never heard of somebody playing just 3 numbers on the same tickets before. Well, that's it for this week's Beatin the House segment. Keep those press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll continue doing this segment because we actually kind of love talking about this and learning about some of these games. And also some of these strategies now.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Well, a By the Number segment's coming back, right?
Dusted it off, just for a short time.
Yeah, it's coming. It's rearing its ugly head again, where Doug throws out a number and I try and guess what the hell the number's all about. That's coming up next on Turnpike Sports, so stick around. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. And By the Numbers is sponsored by Play Sugar House Online Casino and Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at playsugarhouse.com/pike and get a first deposit match of up to $250. Enjoy the casino experience online. Play Sugar House offers over 400 games online, slots, table games, hey, even bingo. It's like being in a casino without leaving your home. That's playsugarhouse.com/pike to get your first deposit match of up to $250 today. Must be 21 years or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
And welcome to the very first By the Numbers segment of the brand new year.
Yes.
Actually, I can't call it a brand new year because we're at the end of February here as we're airing this show. So never mind what I just said. That was kind of dumb. Let's start. This is going to be a short one because as we're moving ahead with some of the other different sports coming up, we're going to have some pick segments down the road here. So I just thought this was kind of a very interesting topic that really didn't fit anywhere else in some of the other segments. So I figured let me do a By the Numbers and dust it off.
Okay.
The number is 2,222.
I actually think I know what this is because just it's a weird number, 2,222. This is the world record thing, the chip thing?
The Guinness World Record for casino chips and gaming tokens.
Is there a Guinness World Record thing for everything? Is there can you break any world record?
Probably.
Is it everything's a world record now?
Well,
I mean, if I have enough pens, do I have a world record pens in my house?
I'm sure there's a
I'm saying pens because there's a pen sitting
I don't know
right
if Guinness has it, but somebody's probably maintaining a record of that sort of thing. But,
okay. All right. Well.
But here we go. Greg Fisher, who lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, he had 2,222 items in his casino chip and gaming token collection, the largest private personal collection of chips and tokens. He had the Guinness World Record crew come out, and after 12-week review process.
Wow, 12 weeks?
12 weeks.
All right.
He got word via email at 4:19 a.m. last week, 2 weeks ago, by the time we're airing this, that his new world record was approved. They came in and they examined and looked at every single chip. They didn't count all of them, but they counted enough that gave him 2,222 as the new world record.
I'm curious how much that would be worth if he cashed the chips in at the casinos, or is it worth more now that these are collectibles? You know, if he has, I'm assuming he has chips from places that are no longer there. I mean, the casinos that went out of business or have been knocked down or whatever. But I'm just curious to see if the value assigned to the chips at the time, you know, they were given out has gone up because of their collectability.
Well, I'm very curious to see how much the value of it increased from the first time he got the record. This is his second time getting a record.
On the same subject? He broke his own record?
He broke his own record.
Okay.
His first record was 818 items.
Wow.
And that was back in 2020, only 2 years ago.
Back in 2 years ago.
Way back in 2020.
Boy, he's been busy. What, would it go up over 1,200, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is
it 1,200 or
1,400?
14, yeah.
But again, it's kind of interesting to see the amount of unique items that are out there from the old casino industry that are still floating around.
Well, obviously, if he increased his chip collection or token collection, I wonder if he got them from newer places. Did he get them from antique dealers? Did he get them from?
Did he buy someone else's collection? And
That's
add
what
it
I'm
into
saying.
them?
I'm wondering if the like the newer ones that he got from 2020 are from the newer casinos, or are they from more collectible?
Well, you know,
things that
there were a
gone?
lot of casinos that were imploded over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I wonder if he, has someone scouring the grounds. Because, maybe they're in the rubble.
You mean they're in the rubble?
They're in the rubble.
Well, there was some in Atlantic City, I think, when they demolished Trump's thing. I think they did find chips around in the
That's
rooms,
what I'm saying. I mean, there's got to be stuff. And also, if you think
there's
about
a market
it,
for that.
the way these casinos do change branding at times, they got to
Sure.
get rid of the old chips.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I know some of the newer ones have actual chips inside the chips, microchips.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming a lot of these do not have any of that kind of tech involved with them. I wonder if he's got any of those old loyalty cards too. I wonder if that's qualifies as a collectible sometime. I know there's a ton of them out there.
Yeah, well, this is chips and just tokens, right?
This is chips and gaming tokens.
Okay.
So it's not just what you use on the table games. I think it's also used in the slots way back when, that sort of stuff.
Oh,
that's a gaming token. Even, I guess the big wheels, they have different tokens for those.
I don't know anymore.
I have to go and take a look at exactly what makes up a gaming token versus a casino chip, and it's probably just a very simple difference.
Yeah.
But Greg Fisher is a member of the Casino Collectibles Association. As a matter of fact, this collection will be on display at their upcoming event in Las Vegas. They have an annual casino collectibles show.
Okay.
You're going to be able to see, if not all, but a portion of this collection at that event. And also, he's also part of the Museum of Gaming History Board.
Interesting. Okay.
That's actually kind of interesting. They have so much memorabilia and paraphernalia from old Vegas, old gaming industries, from not just Vegas, but all over the place, too. It's a really interesting group to take a look at. If you ever get a chance to take a look at the Museum of Gaming History, I recommend it. It's
Wow.
one of the more interesting places on the map.
I'd be interested to check it out.
And that's it for this quick little by the numbers segment. I thought we'd ease into having this segment back into the rotation just by doing one entry, and it was just a very unique entry.
All right, the book report's next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we go through the national and state reports. Boy, do we got a lot of those, especially with the Super Bowl numbers.
Yeah, Super Bowl numbers were great.
The what's the phrase everyone uses? The Super Bowl effect was in full force for the states.
Yes.
We've got some legislative updates. We've got deal making to be talking about. We've also got launches around the country to talk about as well, and also internationally as well. So first, I want to start off with the American Gaming Association. They did their, I guess you can call a State of the State address recently. They had their year-end result release for the gaming industry. Yeah. According to the American Gaming Association, legal U.S. sports betting generated $57.22 billion in handle in 2021 and $4.29 billion in revenue. That's a 165% increase for the handle and 177% increase for revenue over 2020. Now, 2020 was pandemic time.
Yeah.
So that kind of stands to reason, but it's still an astounding number. Let's see. Regulated sports betting is now across 30 states and D.C., generated $4.29 billion in 2021 revenue. That's I had to repeat that number because it's just really kind of an astounding number. Online casino gaming across 6 states generated $3.7 billion in revenue.
Wow.
Can you imagine if online gaming, online casinos were in the same amount of states as sports betting?
Oh, no, it'd be incredible. It'd be absolutely incredible.
Online casino gaming almost matched the revenue for online sports betting. And there's only 6 states reporting.
So, I mean, online casinos aren't in as many states as sports books.
You got 30 versus, well, actually 31 if you want, 32 if you count Puerto Rico now.
Yeah.
Because Puerto Rico just launched
30 states, 2 territories.
30 states, 2 territories, versus 6 states with online casinos. Again, I don't know why states are against these online casinos. I kind of understand it because it's one of those, they don't want to, their constituencies for the senators and houses and all that stuff. But, it's like Massachusetts. They don't want to do sports betting for some reason. I've never understood that. But they don't even want to do online gaming either.
Yeah. No, it's weird up there.
According to GeoComply for the Super Bowl now. According to GeoComply, GeoComply reported from Saturday up until halftime at the Super Bowl, there were over 68.2 million geolocation transactions, more than twice the amount seen over the same period in 2021 for the Super Bowl.
And that's just starting Saturday before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, people were betting weeks before that.
Well, again, the number is sort of misleading because we have more states now.
Sure.
And it's not twice the number of states either. I think there was 20 for last year's Super Bowl.
I don't know.
And now we only have 30. I mean, we have 9 more states, but twice as much betting. I'm assuming New York had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I would.
New York and Arizona, those 2 states probably had a lot.
Like
to
I
do
said,
with
New
everything.
York's numbers are just astounding. I mean, they throw the equation. It's just what they do to the numbers of the overall sports betting market in this country are just incredible because of New York.
Well, speaking of New York, GeoComply released New York's numbers.
Okay.
For the first 30 days of sports betting transactions.
So it started on January 8th, right?
Right. It's not a full month.
Not a full month, okay.
There were 1.7 million unique online sports betting player accounts set up in New York in the state's first 30 days.
So they're unique.
That's not a lot of number. I thought it'd be a lot
New
more.
York, yeah.
1.76 million unique online sports betting accounts. That's 12.6% of the state's age 21 and up population. I thought that number would be a lot bigger.
Well, look, a lot of people, especially like in the New York City area, not a lot of people who actually bet in New York actually live in New York. A lot live in Connecticut and New Jersey, so that might make the numbers a little weirder.
I guess so. But here's a weird number. Approximately 5.6 million unique accounts accessed legal online sports books over Super Bowl weekend. That seems like a small number to me.
Well,
they said, according to GeoComply, it was a 95% increase from last year.
That's pretty good.
That's a great number, but still,
bad.
it still seems kind of small considering, what is it, 144 million Americans have access to legal sports betting of some way, shape, or form.
Well, like I said, it's a very interesting area, a very unique area. There's most people who work in the New York City area, which is the bulk of the numbers coming out. I mean, certainly upstate New York people were registering, but the bulk of the people were in the New York metropolitan area. It's a lot of, like you said, people work in New York. They live in Connecticut and New Jersey, and you know what? Some people still like the promos in New Jersey, and some people still like the promos in Connecticut, so maybe they didn't do anything in New York. So
I don't know.
But the numbers are still incredible for New York.
I'm still impressed with the New York promos that they're doing, especially with that 51% tax rate. I know everyone's hitting everybody over the head with that 51%. It doesn't seem to be slowing down New York because of the sheer volume of people in that state, but
sure.
I was actually really impressed with how the sportsbooks were doing the promos for the Super Bowl. And I've been noticing that some of these sportsbooks had early leads and they're down now. I saw one stat, Caesars in New York is outperforming Caesars Lifetime in other states.
Sure. Well, look, I mean, for someone who sees the media coming out of New York, because I live in New Jersey, I mean, Caesars is everywhere. They're on billboards, they're on buses, they're on TV every hour, they're on the radio every hour. The Caesars is just promoting itself like you wouldn't believe in this area. So, yeah, I would understand that's why Caesars has been so great and has been one of the highest handle books in this region.
Well, do you want to go through some of these numbers for the Super Bowl itself?
Sure.
New Jersey
All
reported a $143.7 million Super Bowl handle.
Okay.
Compared to $117.4 million the year before. That's a 22% increase. The win was $7.8 million compared to $11.3 million in last year's Super Bowl.
Huh, okay.
So revenue went down, handle went up.
Well, a lot
smarter bettors?
Smarter bettors in New Jersey.
Well, is it a matter of less parlays?
No,
because you can't parlay props.
I know, but people people love those same game parlays. So and they're being promoted everywhere in the state. So I don't know if people are betting less parlays, but I just think they're. Let me tell you something. I think there's so much information about the sports now. There are so many betting shows and so many betting podcasts and betting radio shows here. I mean, everyone knows every stat of every player now if you wanted to. So, when we say smarter bettors, probably we're meaning more informed bettors because they're getting all the stats, Even when we were doing picks, we were, we knew against the spread, what was the record against the spread, and what was everyone doing, and the different scores from past games. So it's information is at your fingertips now. So it's helping bettors a lot.
Well, I just think maybe it was a lot of the prop bets because as soon as somebody figures out a way to allow parlay betting for prop bets, you may see a whole different animal here. Because I couldn't parlay prop bets in any of the sports books.
No,
they were all counted as single bets.
Sure. But they had special things. They had the special bets. Someone getting an MVP and you'd win, and how many points so and so would get, or how many yards so and so would get. There was some special special offers in certain sports books that you can look for.
Speaking of special offers and places, Nevada Sportsbook reported an all-time high of $179.8 million handle on this year's Super Bowl, and a revenue of $15.4 million and a hold of 8.6%.
Wow.
That was not their best Super Bowl in terms of revenue, though.
But in terms of handle,
it was. Yeah. The best revenue Super Bowl was the Eagles-Patriots game.
Really? Okay.
$19.7 million in revenue and a 16% win win rate.
That was interesting because that was before everyone else allowed sports betting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before PASPA was wiped away.
Well, that was when Donovan McNabb threw up in the huddle and they lost the game.
Oh, that
at the
one.
End. The Patriots Eagles.
Yeah. Well, I thought you meant the one a couple years ago.
Super Bowl 48.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought the one we watched it in Atlantic City.
Not that one. Not that one.
Not the Philly special one.
No, it was not the rematch.
That was way before sports betting was allowed.
Yes. Oregon Lottery reported over 250,000 bets on the Super Bowl versus 150,000 last year. That's an increase of 66%. Mm-hmm. By the way, Oregon Lottery had an interesting month because halfway through the month, they switched from Intralot to DraftKings.
Okay.
And DraftKings saw a rise in betting when they took over.
Oh, okay.
Kind of an interesting little side note there. Illinois Gaming Board reported $60.5 million in Super Bowl handle and $9.5 million in adjusted gross revenue. The New Hampshire Lottery, $7.7 million handle for the Super Bowl, down 12.5% year over year.
No Tom Brady.
No Tom Brady.
I guess when you're in New England, you're a sports book in New England, you have to hope for Tom Brady to be there. And I think they're out of luck now with his retirement, with his supposed retirement.
Yeah, I don't think he's filed his papers yet.
Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, a lot of people are saying he may come back. There may be a spot in San Francisco for him because they're talking about getting rid of Jimmy G.
And Jimmy G may Jimmy
G can't get away from Brady.
Yeah, trade him to Tampa Bay.
Why don't is Jimmy G trading or is he released? Because I don't think his contract's up.
They have to determine that. So,
28% of the bettors in New Hampshire had Massachusetts addresses.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's coming from Massachusetts. I mean, you're missing out on the boat here. That Commonwealth up there.
I mean, and look, I'm sure in New York and Connecticut, there's a ton of people from Massachusetts going down there to.
I'm actually curious to see exactly where Massachusetts people are going. Are they going to Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York,
That's true, Rhode
New
Island.
Hampshire?
Well, I guess it depends on where you live. I mean, Massachusetts is a very long state. So if you're out in western Massachusetts, just go over the border either to Connecticut or to New York. I mean, if you're northern Massachusetts, you go up to New Hampshire. If you're down near Rhode Island,
if you're southern Massachusetts, you go to Rhode Island or Connecticut too.
Yeah.
I know the Tiverton Casino, which is right over the border from Massachusetts, does not have a sports book.
Yeah.
Does not have a sports book, but they do have online sports betting in Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. You just go to, just cross the
Go
border.
to a rest stop.
Yeah, you go to a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts and stuff like that, and place your bets mobily and go back home.
Mississippi reported $6.4 million in handle for the Super Bowl. Montana reported $700,000 for the Super Bowl. That's up 41% from last year's Super Bowl in Montana.
Okay. As long as it's going up.
Yep. Going on to some of the state records now. You know, that was the majority of the Super Bowl reports.
State records for what?
Everything.
Okay.
This is not Super Bowl anymore. We're moving off the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. All right.
New Jersey set an all-time state monthly handle record for $1.348 billion.
Okay.
And also a mobile handle record with $1.209 billion.
Which kind of good news for New Jersey that New York may not affect them as much as they thought it could be, because I think a lot of reports before New York started mobile sports betting that like 20% of the handle for New Jersey was from New York commuters coming into New Jersey to bet. But, you know, it may be it's a good sign that New Jersey has broken a state handle record.
And it increased.
Yeah.
Compared to New York, here's New York's number for their first month. It's from January 8th through February 6th. $1.98 billion.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
But New Jersey is technically right there if you think about it. I mean, for what that state is, I mean, $2 billion versus $1.4 billion, if you want to look at that, $1.3.5 billion.
I guess the point is New Jersey isn't getting crushed because New York started.
I don't think New Jersey will get crushed.
Well, there's a lot of fear about that. They were like, how much will the mobile sports betting community in New York, affect New Jersey's handle, because now they don't have to travel into New Jersey to place a bet. But, it looks okay for New Jersey now. That's good news for New Jersey.
I will go out on a limb here and say this. For March Madness, you're going to see a lot of New York bettors crossing over into Jersey to place bets on the New York college teams. Because you can't bet on college teams in New York.
Well, you also can't bet on college teams in New Jersey.
But if you're going to New Jersey to bet on the New York college teams, you're going to see a hell of a lot more people going that way than the other way.
Yeah, but, if you're in New Jersey and want to bet on Rutgers, who's been on a tear lately.
Well, you can also go to Pennsylvania.
You can go to Pennsylvania, or you can just drive over to the border and open up an account in New York.
Or if you're in South Jersey, go down to Delaware, go down to Maryland.
Sure.
I mean, New York is not the only destination for New Jersey bettors.
But
New York bettors.
The biggest population in New Jersey is North Jersey, and New York is right there. It's right over the river. So you might as well, if you're in New Jersey and you think you want to bet on New Jersey colleges for March Madness, either you have Pennsylvania or you have New York to travel to.
Here's a weird stat, and this is, I want to thank Chris Altruda for this over at US Bets.
Okay.
New Jersey has accounted for 23.9% of the national post-PASPA handle since state-by-state wagering began in June 2018.
Wow.
That's an incredible
big
number.
chunk.
And also, New York and New Jersey combined for over 60% of January's national handle.
Wow.
And that still is yet to be determined. That may fluctuate a little bit more.
Some good numbers from Chris.
Yeah, no, he's excellent at the stat keeping. New Jersey became the second state to surpass $200 million in all-time sports wagering tax revenue. That's taxes, not operator revenue. The state has made $200 million in terms of taxes from the launch of sports betting in New Jersey. Pennsylvania was the first one to cross that plateau, that barrier, whatever you want to call it. New York, state of Oregon, new monthly record in January with $42.899 million. As a matter of fact, I looked at the breakdown of this. The Oregon Lottery pre- and post-DraftKings taking over. Pre-DraftKings, it was around $20 million in handle. After DraftKings took over partway through the month, $22 million for DraftKings.
I wonder if promos or bonuses and things like that, specials for customers, had something to do with that.
I'm curious to see what table tennis did. I haven't dug through the report yet.
Well,
that's one of the two states.
Yeah, that and Colorado. Yeah, the Oregon and Colorado with table tennis.
As soon as I find that out, it's going to be on a future book report. So,
sure.
Going over to Iowa. Iowa reported state records for total handle of $303 million. And online handle of $275 million. So they're about 85% still with their online versus retail kind of breakdown for total handle. Tennessee, state record for monthly handle, $386 million. This is all got to be Super Bowl betting that affects all this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming February's are going to be inflated because of March Madness, too.
Oh, well, maybe. Who knows?
Michigan reported state record handle of $532.7 million. State record $496.8 million online handle. The record total handle is the fifth consecutive month of record handles for the state.
Wow.
So records all around, and there's still more states coming down the road that are going to be introducing some of their numbers, and I'm sure because of where we are in the sports calendar, you're going to see some new records being set. I'm dying to see what Arizona comes up with for January.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's see. A couple launches to hit. Desert Diamond Casinos over in Arizona, speaking of Arizona, announced the launch of its mobile sports wagering app, which became available for download just in time for the Super Bowl.
Great.
That was their goal for it, and they got it. Fubo Sportsbook received approval to operate in Tennessee. That marks 10 online sportsbooks for Tennessee and the third state for Fubo. Fubo's live in Arizona and Iowa as well as now Tennessee. The PGA Tour launched their new free-to-play game. They've been talking about this for a while now.
Yeah,
it's been like 6-7 months now. Their partner is PointsBet, but for the free-to-play game, it was PointsBet, PGA, and this company that I'm seeing a lot of, and they are becoming one of the leaders in free-to-play games, Low Six.
Okay.
This was launched just in time for the Genesis Invitational, which happened last week.
I'm assuming you just go to PGA Tour's website and just
Oh, yeah,
sign
there's
up there?
links everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. This is going to be a weekly game for every single event that's going on with the PGA Tour. There's going to be prizes up to $5,000 awarded to the players. We got some legislation to hit. Well, actually, you know what? I want to hit this first.
Okay.
NFL season is over. In another month or so, we're going to have the USFL season beginning.
Okay, yeah. I have to dust off my old Jersey Generals sweatshirts.
Well, Jersey Generals are the opening game.
Oh, okay, good.
Jersey Generals, Birmingham Stallions.
And
two of the originals.
I'm certainly assuming that you can bet on these games.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. The approvals haven't been given yet.
This is actually the first step. Sport Radar did a data deal with the USFL.
Good.
Once this deal is finally in place, they're going to be doing the integrity monitoring, the data distribution. The league has to go to the gaming divisions in the individual states to get approval for allowing people to bet on them.
So when does all this start? This starts in March?
April.
Okay.
April 4th, I believe.
Okay, so they got
some time.
About a month and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are going to be trying to get betting launched before the league, at least get it on the approved events for sports betting lists in the different states for the opening game at least. One other note about the USFL, and we talked about the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment, the Hall of Fame Village, the Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it, the Hall of Fame Village, in the in Exit 3 of Turnpike Sports. The Hall of Fame will be hosting some of the playoffs and championship game.
Great
for the USFL.
Good.
So that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how well the league does. U.S. Integrity announced a partnership with Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, which is over in Washington. Betway announced a deal naming the company exclusive partner of the Stock Car Pro Series Brazil. It's their first motorsports sponsorship.
Okay.
DraftKings did a partnership deal with Norwich City, which is an English Premier Soccer club. They're the official daily fantasy sports partner of that club. DraftKings also announced the hiring of two new personnel, Stacey McCullum and Todd DeBester. McCullum is formerly of ESPN, was hired to be DraftKings head of programming. That's an interesting title for DraftKings.
Yeah.
And DeBester is coming from Disney and Universal. He's not a sports betting background person. Kind of an interesting note for New Jersey in terms of legislation, and I guess it's legislation, but zoning approval, I guess that's what you can call it.
Sure.
The New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approved the request by Continent 8, which is an infrastructure company for sports betting and online gaming, to build a 5,300 square foot modular addition to the Atlantic City Convention Center.
Okay.
Now it's not going to be in the convention center. It's going to be outside, attached to the convention center. So that's kind of it. Well, one note, this is going to be interesting. We talked about Massachusetts. We kind of dumped on them for not having sports betting.
Okay.
Maine. The Bangor Daily News acquired a bill proposal from the governor's desk, which is proposing to give just the Native American tribes the ability to do mobile sports betting in the state.
Interesting. Okay.
So they're not going to the private companies. They're going to the Native American tribes to see exactly.
Well, it might be an easier route for sports betting.
I don't know.
So
They've had
a different set of laws.
It's the first time the governor has done something, because the governor is the one that's been vetoing everything. Mm-hmm. Now the governor has a bill proposal which is focused on mobile sports betting. South Carolina has a bill that would legalize sports betting, horse racing, card and dice games, and electronic gaming devices for bill expansion. And the bill requires revenue to go to highway, road, and bridge maintenance. And our friends over at SBC, Sports Betting Community, announced that the organization has joined the Ukrainian Gambling Council.
Okay.
representing betting and gaming industry in the Ukraine. I just wanted to give them a little shout out there.
Okay, absolutely.
That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Keep those press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll continue to report on as much as possible. If you're following on TV, the news ticker has a whole bunch of other different stories that we didn't have a chance to cover on air, as well as the print version will be up on the blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button, and you'll have the print version right in front of you there.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.